What is good, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Let's get right into it. So for this video, we are going to talk about my experience with technology in the astral realm. Now, I'm not just talking about astral technology. I'm talking about extraterrestrial technology in general. The technology that these beings gave me to use is awesome, especially the way they explained it to me and how to use it was amazing. These are me going out of body and me having interactions with these star people and my star family, and they are showing me about technology, especially technology that's going to be used in the future on Earth, and technology that is not yet used by humans but experimented with by governments, and like technology that's used by ETs like it's a regular day, and talking about quantum physics and metaphysics. These things that they're explaining to me in the astral realm is amazing, and they let me use it. So let's get into it. I'm going to pull up my journal and talk a little bit about what happened. So I actually want to talk about my first experience. April 24th, I call it time jumping the North and City. So I was given some technology that looked like a wooden cootery board. Like it looked like a damn wooden board that you would use to like put your snacks on. This joint they gave me, but when you would turn it on, it had all these ruins on it, like all these symbols, and I knew what they meant in the astral. We always talk about how your astral self knows more than you do, right? And I just knew what to click and what to do to get to where I wanted to go. But part of it was you had to think of it. So you had to think about what you wanted, and you had to think about essentially what you wanted to do and why. This thing had its own consciousness. So where you would want to go and where it would send you, there was a reason why. If you went somewhere, you had to live it out. So they gave me this wooden board, and they gave me a spaceship which looked like a regular car, like one that your brethren would pick you up in, right? That's what the car looked like. And it was business. Like that car, it was designed to look like a regular bussa car you'd see upon the road. I was also paired with this black woman, which looked like someone I know that's a content creator. She was there with me. And I remember I told her to wait outside, like to wait by the spaceship, because I had something to do. And I was doing some stuff with some neighbors. Like I was doing some talking with neighbors and interacting with different people. It was very interesting. I'll bore you the details, but I could use the board and go where I wanted to. And I remember Fabi was saying, you know, you have to think about where you want to go to and what you want it to look like. And when that happens and you set it up, you could hear the board going, ooh, like it's loading up. And then you click the certain ruins on the board. And then when it wasn't in use, it just looked like a regular cootery board, which is really cool too. And so anywhere you went, though, this was one of the rules with it, is when you used it, you had to live out that timeline. So you couldn't just go there and be like, oh no, I want to go somewhere else, and then try and go somewhere else. You had to go through that timeline fully, or to a certain extent fully, right? So then I started using the car, and I started using the board and traveling to different places. And I remember I went to this like big astral city, and we was driving around these huge highways. I didn't even ask where I was. I just knew I was in like an ET city. And I was driving around with some family members that I knew, even some ETs that I knew were coming with me. And then at one point, I was in the living room, and I was talking to my past self. Like I was talking to a version of myself in high school. You guys know me with the do-rag and everything. I was talking to myself. My past self was crazy as hell, but funny as hell. I'll say that. Like getting to talk to your past self, you're like, damn, I was real young, you know. I forgot to mention this to you guys. I'm editing the video right now. And at one point when I went to this alien planet, these beings came up to me and they were like, you're the guy that's time traveling. You're the guy that's using the technology to time travel. And I was like, yeah. It was like people already knew that I was doing this. But I guess we talk about when you go off planet, all these beings are always watching what's going on Earth. So then when you interact with them, it's like they already know what part of your journey you're on. They've been watching this conversation right now I have with the camera. So it's like I went to their planet and they were like, oh, you're the guy that's doing that stuff. I'm like, yeah, right? And from there, that's when I was going to all these different timelines to experiment. I was going to timelines where I was hanging out with literal physical family on different areas. I was hanging out with a lot of star family. I was going to just all these different timelines, hopping back and forth, but mainly going to different civilizations. And you know me, I like interacting with the beings. So I was talking with a lot of people and doing a lot of stuff where it was like I was living life there, but in different ways, right? Different timelines. This is when I was talking to some people in the server, and they were in the Astral City too. So we ended up just hanging out, linking up, and talking. You know how we do in the server. For those who are in the server, shout out to y'all. We all in mission mode in the server, so sometimes we all end up just hanging out or hitting up each other in the Astral and hang out. We were all on mission, and we end up stopping by for a minute to see each other, and then that's when the succubus pulled up, and I didn't know it was a succubus until later. And so when you come across a succubus, you either take note of it and you're like, oh, this is a succubus, Guan, or you don't even know it's a succubus, but it's trying to get you in a lustful way, and you're just not lustful like that. So it just doesn't hit. So the succubus came and was like, kept hugging me, like it was doing weird stuff to try and seem human, but also try and arouse me. Low key, I was like, whoa, like this thing trying to get me. But at the same time, I was so focused on whatever else I was doing. It was like, y'all trying to make me lustful, and it's not, you naturally just aren't drawn to get in that lustful mode. So it didn't even work. But back in the day, it would have worked, right? These succubi and incubuses, they pull up when you're on mission, especially. Because at the beginning stage, they know they could get you. They're still going to send one or two, and sometimes they will get you. Don't punish yourself. But this one, I was like, good try, bucko. And then I end up going to this Lyran planet, which a bunch of my Starseed friends were at as well, which are in the server. And we were hanging out at this Lyran planet. And Genie Dot was there. And I was like, yo, bro, do you want to hang out for a little bit? And he was like, oh, no, I'm hanging out with Ayana and stuff like that. Like, Genie's always busy. You know how we do. You know how Genie Dot do. So I was just like, okay, go do your thing. And then I tried to hit up Favy. And for those who know, you know. And she was busy too. I was like, shit, everybody's busy. Now here's the second part where I was using some technology. So this is last night, actually. I was learning how to use portals. And so I'm in the bathroom, and in the shower, you can't see it. It looks like the physical, but when you put your hand in it, it was like literally a portal. And it felt cool. I kept playing around with it because it felt cool, bro. I can't express how being out of body or being in the astral, especially out of body, is real. Like, it's almost realer than this shit, right? Being in the physical. So I put my hand, I was like, yo, this joint is so cool. And I was playing around, even seeing, I like to study how it looks like when my hand went in and what it felt like. And I was going like this, and I felt like I could feel that there was another planet on the other side, and then it pulled out. And it's weird. I had to use a wooden vase. What is with this damn wooden stuff, bruh? I had a wooden vase, and you controlled it. It was like a vase like this. And in the middle, when it was off, it just looked like a wooden vase. But when it was on, it had all these ruins in it. It was like spinning around. It was like zzzz, and spinning around, and you press it. I tried to turn it on or tried to control it because I saw one of the ETs use it. So he like used it. Already from home, I knew how this worked because it was used back home. But I didn't fully understand how to do it again. I knew it only lasted a certain amount of time. So it's like, oh, I could go in, but I'm not trying to get trapped. Where I'm like, wherever I go, I end up staying in there, and then I can't get back. So I was just playing around with it, and then I knew some like ET was going to come and teach me, which was cool too. I knew some ET was going to come and help me, or someone was going to come and help me. So I just played around with it and stayed with it. And then this man came and was explaining to me how it worked. He was saying that what it does is when you go through a portal, what I'm about to say is interesting, not just because it's cool how he explains it and how it works and it makes sense, but also because we've talked about this before. For those who have talked to you about technology, or I've talked to people like hosts on Gaia TV about how extraterrestrial technology works and how you could use it in the astral realm and you could use it in the physical because it's multi-density. And the way these ETs explain it to me now, which I'm about to tell you guys, is exactly how I explained it to these people, especially to people who are into extraterrestrial technology, or maybe it's government agents that are asking me about extraterrestrial technology. Like, I tell them exactly like this. So he said it takes apart your cells and puts it back together in the destination. So say this is the portal right here. You're on this side of the portal. when you walk through, and it's like you're the in-between phase, it takes apart your cells, so it's just your spirit. So your spirit walks through, and then your cells get put back together on the other end. And that's what it looked like when you're putting your hand through. You can see your cells being taken apart, which is cool. It kind of looked, to me, it looked like you were low-key in a video game. The way it, like, you put your hand in, it was like that. And this makes sense because all this technology is linked with spirit. It's all linked with the spirit realm, or the quantum realm, humans like to call it, whatever. It's just linked with spirit. So your spirit walks through. So if you have a physical vessel, it takes apart your cells, your spirit walks through, and then it puts your cells back together wherever the destination is on the other side of the portal. This one host on Gaia TV was asking me about why people get sick sometimes when they go through portals. Like this one government agent, she was telling me about, went through a portal that these ETs were essentially, like, gave him access to. It was actually like a guy in a military base, and he went through these portals and he got sick. He ended up getting sick, and he said he was going to die because it kept making him so sick, and he did die a few months after. And so this happened, and she was asking me why people get sick. And I told her it was because it takes apart your cells and puts them back together. And if you're in a low density state or a low vibration, it can be hard. It'll be hard on your body. So your body has to adjust to this, and it has to get in a more spirit-based way of living, so then it's not hard on your body. And then when he was explaining how this technology worked, I was like, oh, so, like, I was just thinking about what we were talking about with that lady. He was explaining to me that this is sort of like how the UFOs teleport, but it's a little different. They are linked with source. So the UFOs, or the ET spaceships, travel through space and time by linking with source consciousness. So they use the spirit realm, and they use higher densities to do this. So it's multi-density technology. The ship creates a rip in space and time and relocates your cells wherever you're going. So I remember we went to this, like, valley, and these UFOs landed, so he could show me exactly how it worked and what it looked like. So the UFO landed, and before it landed, you could see under the UFO. I'm going to try and put a picture up, and you can see these colors under it. It's like all these, like, LED colored lights blinking and moving. And then it landed, and I kept, like, looking under it. I kept, like, wanting to see under it. And he was explaining to me, he's, like, literally standing there and explaining to me how it worked. It was a Pleiadian guy explaining this to me. And he's, like, pointing and saying, look, yep, it goes like this, and then you teleport. And he was explaining it so well to me. It was so cool. Overall, though, it created these rips in space and time. And he was also showing me as well when it travels through space and time, and it's like, say it's like the spaceship's like this, you could see space and time moving around it as it's moving through. So it's like you can see space and time moving around it as it's moving wherever it's going. Fascinating. Y'all, check this out. So my mom decided to buy this wooden stool. And I wake up this morning right after that travel, see this wooden stool, and you see this is exactly what it looks like when they're traveling through space and time. Of course, it's wooden, right? Like, of course, just like the damn tablet, like that cootery board looking tablet, just like that. But look, it's like the spaceships were like this. And you see how, like, it's like ripping around? It looked just like this. So imagine this is a spaceship, or even like this is a spaceship, and imagine it's like traveling, and you could see space and time like moving around it. It's just like that, and this is like, you can see the aura around it. It's like traveling through space. It's really cool. The way that she got this right after that is wild. And he said some travel like this. They travel through space and time, and some they use portals. So you see them go boop, boop, and they go to the next space, and it takes apart the cells and puts it back together in the other area if it's physical, right? And does that. If not, it just travels through spirit and does whatever it's got to do. He said they don't teleport a lot, but they like to travel through space and time better instead. He said they're basically kind of the same, but a little different. But that's why they also use black holes, because black holes are easy ways, like we talked about before with y'all, is that black holes are, ETs use black holes to go from place to place. So they have this technology, and then they use black holes, which are natural rips in space and time, to just go in different areas of space and time, if that makes sense. My sister was there, and she was explaining to me that I could use the portal to go see Carl. And I was like, that's true. Carl is someone that he used to have an astral relationship with months ago, around November, December. And I didn't go and see him anymore because I don't even remember what it was. It was just so much mission work I was doing, and I was focused on other stuff. And we kind of had this separation phase. She was like, you could go see Carl and you could go to a timeline where you guys are together and stuff like that. And I was like, I could. But I was also like, I don't have time for for that. I could use it for something better. This technology reminded me of Black Mirror, like this one episode with the quantum technology, because when you would use this, anytime where you would think about where you wanted to go, you could hear it loading up. So you could use the wooden, what looked like the wooden vase, but it was really connected with your thoughts. So my sister and the guy was like, think about where you want to go. And instantly I would start thinking about it, and you would hear the portal go, and then you would stop, think about it, and go, and I was testing it out, and I was like, let me try it. Anytime I think about it, and it loud down. So it was really meshed with my thoughts. And I thought, wow, like I really could do anything. And it reminded me of that episode of Black Mirror with the technology where with the quantum computer, you could do anything, go anywhere, experience anything you want. It was literally like that. By the time I did make a decision on where I wanted to go, the portal closed. It's like I wasn't supposed to do it. I was just like, oh man, like I could have did it, right? But it's like I wasn't supposed to. I was just supposed to learn. Then a little bit after that, I kept speaking to these extraterrestrials about their technology, and they were teaching me about it. There were some ETs that were like hidden among the people, and some of them would just come up and talk to me. So some would just take their spaceship and land and come and talk to me. A lot of them looked like grays, and a lot of them looked like tall whites, like humanoids with like milk white skin and milk white hair. Some of them had like milk white everything and really tall but black eyes. But they were benevolent, right? So they had like these lenses on, just like the grays do. And some ETs were just among the people. I'd go for a drive or a walk, and these ETs would just pull up on me. But they look really human, right? So they're ETs among the humans, and they're walking up, but they're like, oh, here. And then we would talk about stuff. But no one else would know they're ETs, only I would. So the whole night I was spending talking to all these different ETs. Some were from Elder Baron, like the tall whites. Some were Arcturians. Some were Pleiadians, and some were Orion-based beings like the Greys. So there was so many beings from everywhere coming because they wanted to help teach me this. And you guys know my connection with ETs. Like, I'm connected with a lot of beings, so all of them are coming from everywhere, and it was so exciting to be able to talk to all of them and to have them exchange their wisdom with me. And I want to say again, because this is wisdom that's in my being and in my soul, but I'm on Earth and I have to remember, so they're reteaching me again. Beautiful. And I got to hit them up. It wasn't even like, oh, I'm talking to ETs. It was just like I'm talking to family. You know what I'm saying? Talking to my family and friends. It felt like just like talking to any other family or friends. And it was awesome, but it felt more like home. Okay, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This was a little bit about extraterrestrial technology as well as astral technology. I mean, they're really the same thing because it's multidimensional technology here, right? So this is technology that's going to be available to humans on Earth in some time, but it's going to be a while to teach humans how to use it, especially to not abuse it. Imagine we had this technology now. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Talk to you guys soon. Peace out.